Hey you, it's me, Screenscapes, and this video is for you YouTubers out there who are having some trouble with your lighting. I'm about to show you how to get professional three-point lighting with items from around your home. And stay tuned all the way to the end because I have a trick that you just will not believe for holding your camera. So as you can see by this drawing, your classic three-point lighting consists of three lights. One light ahead of you and to the left at 45 degrees, another light at half its intensity to the right at 45 degrees, and a third light behind you to sort of pull you off the background. So this is the standard setup that I see a lot on YouTube, and it's basically just the room lighting. I'm shooting at night right now. It's basically just room lighting or the light from the window, and you can see it's kind of flat and not very interesting, and sometimes it can be dark and grainy and people don't quite see it. So remember about lighting is the more light, the more detail. The more detail, the more interesting. So let's get started and turn on our first light. Now that's going to be to my left, and it's going to be a 100 watt light bulb. So we'll turn that on so you can see the difference. Now meanwhile, I'm going to shut off the overhead light, which is just the standard room light on the center of the room. Now this is just the first light, the light that's off to my left, and it's a 100 watt bulb. And I've diffused it with a piece of parchment paper, and I'll show you how to do that in just a bit. And what that does is it lights up my left side with more light than what the overhead light would do. And that adds more light, more detail. However, it sort of leaves my right side quite a bit dark. So we need to fill in those shadows, but we don't want to do it the same light intensity as the other light, because then it will make me look flat. And flat's uninteresting and so forth. So we're going to turn on this light. Now this light is a 60 watt bulb. You could use a 60 or a 40 depending on what you're going for, because this is 100 watt. So basically what we're trying to do is go about half the intensity as our main light. And this is called a fill light because we're going to fill in these shadows. So here we go. So as you can see, the shadows have now been filled in a little bit, and it makes it a lot more interesting. But it's not too flat because brighter, just filling in the light, so it's not really flat. Now our third light is going to be our hair light or a backlight. Now it's generally used to either light the background to pull you off of the background so you don't look flat up against the wall. Now a lot of you guys are using curtain or anything like that, sheet, that's fantastic, whatever you use for a backdrop. But don't be too close to the backdrop because you don't get that opportunity to use a backlight to sort of pull you off and make you a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to turn that on, and what you're going to see is it's going to light up my right side a little bit and then pull me off of that background. Also, it's going to light the wall behind me and also help to create a contrast between the brighter wall and my silhouette. So here we go. And that's the addition of our backlight or hair light. It's called a hair light sometimes because it will sort of just fill in, the side of the hair. Now you can add some color to that, and that, could be interesting. You could go get the colored light bulbs at the hardware store, and it makes it quite a bit interesting. A lot of times in interview settings, you'll see the backdrop or the hair light is sort of blue or red. Or if you have like, brightly colored hair, you might want to add to that a bit by, adding a colored light. So this is your standard three-point lighting, and I'm about to show you how you can make this professional three-point lighting with items from your home. And like I said, stay tuned all the way to the end because I have a trick that you just will not believe for holding your camera. So here's my standard three-point lighting made with items from your home. And I'll go over them one at a time and show you exactly how you can make this yourself. Let me turn the lights off so they don't blind you, and we'll start with the main light. Now the main light, again, I usually use a 100 watt bulb. This is a standard 100 watt bulb, and I put parchment paper around it so that it doesn't give harsh shadows. If you do this with the lamp shade, it's going to be too dull, and your camera is going to automatically increase the gain and make it a little bit grainy and so forth, and it'll make you flat. So I take a standard lamp, I put a 100-watt bulb in it, and I take some parchment paper and I clip them on with just regular old wooden clothes clips. What do you call these? Clothes pins. In the industry, we call them C47s. So we just clip these on. Don't worry about them being wood. It's not going to burn them. Just make sure that when you put them on there that they're plenty not touching the bulb. So this is our first light, and it is a 100-watt bulb, and it has parchment paper to help diffuse the light. The second is our other light, our fill light, and it is about half, and it's put together the same way. It's just a standard old lamp that you can get anywhere, and I put a piece of parchment paper on there to keep from having harsh shadows, and it's just a standard lamp. You don't want one that's too tall, but you don't want one that is too short, because you want it above you, so that it comes down on you and not up on you, so you don't look like like you're putting a horror story together. Now our third lamp, which was again lighting up the background and then myself, is what I used was a back up here. It is just a floor lamp that had that extra reading light on the side, and I just angled that. Now you can use any lamp. You can use a floor lamp like I just did, or pretty much anything you want. Now that back one can be whatever intensity you want. It could be 100%. Everything is based on this main light. It could be 100%, or it could be any, whatever it takes for the look that you're going for. Now this is a standard 3-point light set, and gives you that same look and so forth as a professional kit, and it didn't cost you anything except for a little bit of parchment paper, which I got in trouble for using because I understand it's expensive. So stand by, and I've got a really nifty trick for you in just a second. So there you have it, folks. Professional 3-point lighting. Looks pretty nice, I think, and that will certainly help a lot of you people who are having trouble with your lighting. So, as promised, I have a nifty trick. I hear a lot of you people are saying, you put your cameras on top of books. Not everybody can afford a tripod. Not everybody can afford, pretty much what it takes. But you will not believe this when I show you. Meanwhile, grab your camera. This would work with a phone, but you would need a tripod holder for your phone, and you could probably just look one of those up on eBay. They cost like $1.50. But grab your camera, and I'm going to show you a trick you just will not believe. Okay, so here's the standard house lamp that we had used earlier, and you will not believe this, but this lamp is also a tripod. Well, effectively technically it's a monopod, which is one leg, but I'm going to show you how to do this. Simply remove the lampshade, so as you see, this pin that's at the top holding the lampshade is also the same diameter and shape that will fit the bottom of your camera. It's the same, so we're going to put this onto that just like we would a tripod mount. So with two hands always, move the strap out of the way. We'll simply twist this on. It doesn't take a lot of turns because the pin is longer than it should be for a tripod mount. So we don't want to force it because you could damage your camera. So once it's a little snug, go ahead and just turn the lampshade. You can go ahead and spin your preview monitor around, and there you have it. A holder for your camera. Now, I talked to you earlier about a clip for the phone, and here it is here. You see it also has the tripod mount. So we'll spin this off using two hands always. That's why. And then we simply take our phone using the same tripod hole onto that pin. Spin it. Doesn't take a lot to hold it. That's about it. Nice and snug. You don't want to put it really tight because this is actually longer than what's required and you could damage your camera. But let's go ahead and spin your lamp holder now, and there you go. It should be nice and even. If not, you can put, a little toy or a little piece of paper on one side or the other and go ahead and do what you must. So there you have it, guys. A tripod mount that you didn't know you had. No need for an expensive tripod, and I'm sure you have plenty of these sitting around the house. So again, if you're going to use it for the camera holder, don't use it for your light source, because your light's going to come from straight on. It's just going to make you flat, and it defeats the whole purpose of three-point lighting. So have fun, get out there and make those videos look great. I can't wait to see them. Let me know if you use this trick or what you think about it. Put the comments down at the box. If you liked this video and you have requests for others, or just want to let me know, or you have some ideas or cool tips that I didn't know about, go ahead and leave the comments below. And if you like this video and want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. And again, I am Screenscapes, and I'm reminding you to think a veteran.